Howdy, howdy. What's up, Brian?
How are you?
Oh man, I'm okay, but man, I'm anticipating a crazy couple of days ahead. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm doing okay. We've had just kind of a busy couple of weeks here. My daughter hit a dog on the way to college in Arkansas, and so the car was totaled. It was a big dog, so we're trying to deal with that right now.
Oh no.
And we've got trying to. I went through the bees. If you saw my most recent video, the bees are looking strong. Trying to get
Oh
them ready
no.
for spring. It's got queens coming, and we've been selling honey, and I've been working, and man, it's just been just a real super busy time. And the next couple of days are going to be kind of crazy busy as well. And so I just my mind is kind of just everywhere tonight. So, but yeah, it's fun times. How about you, Brian? What's going on up there?
Well, we are in the great melt. We've had 50s all week. So we're supposed to not dip below freezing until Saturday, I think. So from Friday night going into like the Saturday AM. So pretty much all the snow, like I mean, you saw pictures of here, like I mean, just mounds of snow. It is the only spot where you still see snow. It's along the edge of the roads here and there where, where you had like a 3 foot, 4 foot mound. But that's it. The yard is clear. But with that melt, in like a 2 to 3 day period, and then we had a little bit of rain, everything is flooding. So they've got like for streams and that we've got flood watches now.
Yeah,
So,
man, it's crazy. It's
but
crazy when the snow starts to melt off for sure.
yeah, yeah, the bees, I was over there yesterday and I got some pollen patties in on them, just small little pieces. I didn't slap a whole one. I still left the fondant. Uh, got that little bit of pollen patty on them just because I looked at the weather coming up and I thought, they're going to be wanting to brood up. So I wanted them to have, uh, you know, a direct source to get the pollen. So I don't want to have them stall out if we get like any kind of weather. So put that in there. I cleaned out three of my four dead outs. So there was one that I didn't clean up, and those darn frames uh, tried cracking them a couple different, a couple different ones on the ends, middle, everything. And two of the frames I ended up, from trying to crack them, the top rails just boom. And I'm just like, man. So I left that one box. I kind of cleaned the tops up a little bit. But got some things cleaned and I do have I'm sure you've seen like those big black totes that have the yellow lid on them.
Yeah, I
You can
use
buy.
those for my feeders. Yeah, I use those all
Yep.
the time.
Yeah, that's what I did. So yesterday I put 15 gallons of I had Hive Alive syrup and then I had some other
Okay.
the Hive Alive syrup, it's their 2-to-1 that they sell in those two and
Mhm.
a half gallon tubs. Um, uh, Between that and then other syrup that I had, I got about 15 gallons in a tote. And I'll tell you what, I had the prime setup because I took one of the hive stands from one of my dead outs, took it further up into the yard. The tote literally sit on there perfect, threw my ratchet strap around it. And I figured with it, all week we're not going to dip below 40 even. Like right now it's 49 degrees up here. So we have had like periods of rain, but then like at towards the late afternoon here, the sun came out, it was sunny. So I wanted to get some feed out there. Uh Two of my four colonies that didn't make it, they were starve outs. They ran out of food. So, and I've got a couple others that, when I was heaving the back of them, they were pretty darn light and you really can't do much as far as I can't put anything liquid out there. I didn't want to add liquid to them right now. Just, this weekend we've got snow coming up again. So if I put any buckets and if anything would have purged, then you're just annihilating a colony. So I thought, well, 15 gallons, further up in the yard, it'll give them something to hit. So, but we'll see, I mean, it's that time of year up here where I just tell people February and March are just, they're the months when the colonies that you think are going to make it, they'll die off quicker than anything up here. So,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah, it
know,
can happen here too.
yeah.
So those of you who are wondering where Greg is, he is on the road tonight. He's headed in this direction. And he said, just send a text out, said, not going to make it on tonight. We're loaded up in southbound. Tell the stream team folks, sorry, I couldn't make it on. So he's on the road. And so we want him to pay attention to his driving and be safe. And so he'll be here, I think tomorrow evening, probably sometime. And so that's where he's at. But yeah, I think you and I can handle it. We may have some ideas. We'll figure out some things as we go along. But that's where Greg is. It's going to be an exciting couple of days here. If you saw my video, those who have hopped on, first of all, we appreciate you being here. We got a lot of names in here I recognize, and there's a couple I don't recognize from that may not have been on before. So welcome aboard. We appreciate you being here. And we've been doing this now, Brian, for over 4 years, and for some reason, people keep hopping on, and we just appreciate the community. Can't say enough good things about this community, both with Stream Team and just the beekeeping community in general. We appreciate all you guys and all the great vibes that we get with these videos and the conversation that happens in the chat and one-on-one with us and between us. It's just really good. So, but yeah, we got a couple of crazy days coming up. For those who weren't on a few minutes ago, I was at the Wisconsin Bee Conference up the Midwest Honeybee Expo. I think I got there 2 weeks ago yesterday or tomorrow. 2 weeks ago tomorrow I got there. It was a great conference, but while I was there and a couple of days leading up to it, we just got hammered with honey orders. And so my poor wife was here trying to bottle that up. We have a brand new Speedfill XL from Speedfill. Is that what is it, XL?
Yeah,
From Hilco. And we had just used it a couple of times, and she had not really used it. She kind of helped, and she'd done a couple of bottles with it. So, and we got to pour the 5-gallon buckets into the bottling tank to be able to put in everything. So my poor wife, she worked on that while I was gone at the conference and got back, and immediately we kept filling bottles up. I actually got an order for 4 or 5-gallon buckets on my website. I've got those hopefully decrystallized. I'm going to be sending those out tomorrow so it's just been crazy. And then on top of that, I'm trying to get the bees ready to split this past Friday and Saturday. Mostly on Friday, I went out and got those bees prepared. If you saw my video, I think it was Friday or Saturday, whatever days it was, I was out there working with the bees. And I think it was actually Saturday when I did a lot of that. But I got them ready. If you saw the video, man, they're looking really good. I have one that had a emerged queen cell. I think it was probably a swarm cell. By looking at the hive, you couldn't tell they had swarmed, but they may have because there was so much brood in there. It'll be interesting to see how that one looks this week. If all that brood has emerged, if there's a queen in, if we can find what the deal is. I may or may not split that one depending on how things look. It was so packed out with bees, though, they'll swarm again if we're not careful. So all that in preparation for starting tomorrow. Greg's going to be rolling into town, and on Friday we're planning on doing I'm hoping to get 8 of the splits done tomorrow. I have 8 queens coming from, they're actually here already. A friend of mine received them from Kona Queens in Hawaii, which is close to Zach. It's not Zach, but so I got 8. I ended up with those. I didn't realize I was going to be able to get the full amount of queens I needed from Zach this year, so I kind of panicked, and then these became available, and I snatched them up, and then Zach told me he could send me what I wanted, and so we're gonna be getting 56 from Zach. They'll be coming tomorrow, and I'll be hopefully doing the splits with the Kona Queens tomorrow, and then Friday we've got Greg here. Derek Miller's coming down from Gunnersville, North Alabama. Got a local guy that's going to help us, and then we may have another fellow helping us, and then Mike Berrien is going to be rolling into town to pick up some equipment. So Friday's going to be a crazy day. I don't know how we're going to do it all logistically, but with that many people, as long as we don't trip over each other, we should be able to get it done pretty fast. I'm hoping the splits themselves, and hope to capture a video of it. It's going to be so crazy. I'll just do what I can. If I don't get it, I apologize. But my plans are to try and film a little bit of footage and kind of show you how we're doing it, and hopefully it'll be a good experience for us. I think it will be. But right now, I don't know if you guys get this way, Brian, if you get this way, or people in the chat, but when I have something kind of a big event coming up like this, kind of inviting people to my home place, so to speak, of and everything, I get a little bit nervous about it and anxious about it, but it always goes well. We always have a good time. And so it's this, I normally don't have this kind of stress early in the year. Normally it's the big honey harvest coming up when I get kind of like this, but I think with this is going to be fun. It's going to be a good group and getting some bees, and hopefully they haven't all swarmed in the past week. I did put out some liquid feed for the bees, open fed them after I got them kind of went through them and kind of prepped them a little bit. And I went down to Appling Farms yesterday evening, actually, which had been 3 or 4 days, and the open feeders were completely dry. And driving past some of the other ones, the bees are hungry right now. There's kind of a dearth going on, and so the bees might be a little bit chippy or a little bit feisty, just because there's not really a lot of food coming in. It's not that the bees are mean; it's just that there's not a lot for them to do, and it might be a little defensive. So I told Greg to be sure and bring his gloves, and because Greg will try and get in them, and he'll have 85 stings in his hands before he'll put the gloves on. So anyway, it should be quite the adventure. But I know the folks up north are probably thinking, "My gosh, really already? February."
Yeah.
But if I don't get these bees split or get them something, they're going to be swarmed. They're going to be the trees. Toby Reeder, who is sometimes in the chat here, he came and got some equipment last year. He was in that video, and Greg brought some equipment down. But he had a huge swarm today. He sent me a video, or I think it was a video of it, or maybe it was a picture of the bees just swarming out of the colony. He said it was such a huge swarm, it filled up an entire 10-frame box. I think he put a super on top of it too. So we are kind of in bee season down here. Temperatures are going to be the next 3 days in the low 80s, but then they're going to drop next week back down into the 50s, 60s, 70s. But not for long. It doesn't look like. That'll be during the day, and nighttime lows will be in the 20s and 30s a couple of nights. But so I know you folks up north, that are kind of, man, I can't wait to get in my bees. Well, we're in the bees down here, and I see Lisa in here. I'm sure she's experiencing the same thing, but it's nuts.
Yesterday I was on the phone with Greg for, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes or so, and I had asked him if he saw your recent video, and he said no. He said, "How'd the bees look?" He said, "Do I need like a jacket and all that stuff?" And I said, "Well,"
I told him he better bring stuff.
Yeah. I told him, there was one that you said, I think you said it was a little bit, I don't know whether you said it was chippy or whatever, but and then there was another one that you opened up, and the darn things looked like puppy dogs just sitting there, and I'm like, man,
yeah. I think that I've still got some of the old genetics in there, and most of the ones that are super gentle are the ones I think that I got from Zach over the past couple of years. But it's just even the nice ones sometimes can get a little bit feisty, and there's just not a lot coming in. They get a little defensive because they're just kind of trying to test each other and all this stuff. And I haven't really seen any robbing, but I do know that when I pulled up in the bee yard with my feeder, it has a little bit of a leak, and the bees were all over it. They were just almost instantaneously, the bees were on it trying to suck any little leaks or drips they could. So we're definitely in a little bit of a dearth here, which in the springtime that happens here. I'm sure it happens everywhere. Probably we get a little bit of a nectar flow, the red maples and things, whatever it is that kicks in, like even the first part of January, and the bees really start to blow up. And then all of a sudden, whatever it is, will just shut off. We do get pollen kind of consistently coming in all through the spring, but the nectar is just really kind of trickling in here or there, and so it's kind of a dangerous time, like you said, Brian. I mean, you can get in trouble if they're out flying and searching. And if we have 2 or 3 weeks with no food at all coming in, no nectar, they can plow through their stuff pretty quick. So we got to watch them pretty close. But normally they plow through and they do pretty well. And I kept Hive Alive on it throughout the winter, and we're kind of past that situation now, and we're just about ready to make some splits. I am going to make sure I try to feed them, especially the splits right away. I don't know if I got enough syrup to feed everybody right now, but we're at least for sure going to feed the splits, and then I'll probably go get some more food and food ready and just feed them all either Saturday or next weekend again. So, but man, it's pretty exciting though. It's good times. You get stressed out, you get anxious about it. I'm a little bit anxious just from all the just it's just going to be such a logistically to have all the people here and then trying to get all the equipment ready and
Mm-hmm.
trying to logistically I want everything to go smooth. I want people to have a good time. I want be able to capture some
Well,
good content. I just, I want things to go well logistically, and
yeah,
sometimes it's easier from that standpoint to do it with just one or two people, but then of course you always have a great time when you have several people around, and it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it, but
right.
I'm anxiously looking
When
forward to it.
when you're the one, inviting everybody down, it's, they're your colonies. Ultimately they'll be your splits. It's just there's a lot of logistics involved. There's a lot of moving parts. So I'd be the same darn way.
Yeah,
And
and I really, it's kind of like you do invite folks, but then folks kind of end up here too, and you want them to come and you want to have a great time, but you got to make sure the bees get split, if that makes sense. And so it's the bottom line is the work that needs to be done, and the community. It always works out well. I just hope that I think that everyone that's coming will be able to really pitch in and really make it an efficient experience. But it just makes me it's almost sometimes it can almost be too overwhelming, but it's going to be fine. I
yeah,
mean, we'll get it done, and that's I always enjoy having folks down and you just can't have a better time just getting in the bees. But I just hope the bees behave a little bit. They've been a little feisty. Maybe they won't be too bad. I just hope everyone that comes has protective gear because they're probably going to need it. Speaking of
yeah.
protective gear, Brian, I made a purchase at the Midwest Honeybee Expo that I'm extremely thrilled that I made up there.
What'd you get?
I normally use the black nitrile gloves to do things with, and I do like them,
Yeah.
especially when the bees are nice. But what I've noticed with my Foxhound Sting Stopper jacket
Uh-huh.
is that right around the wrist, if I have the nitrile gloves on, the nitrile gloves that I use, the venom still come up to about right here,
Yeah.
and the jacket comes down to about right here, and those darn bees will get right down in the
Oh yeah.
crease where the jacket hits it, and they just will sting my wrist up pretty good. And lately, when they're really kind of feisty, they'll actually get me in the finger some too, but it's mostly right around the wrist. So I'll have
Yeah.
8 or 10 stings in each of my wrists, especially this right wrist gets it the worst. And last year I bought some Apis tactical gloves. I bought the ones that are long that go up over here.
Uh-huh.
I bought them because if I'm doing things that don't require good dexterity, I thought I could just wear those as like standard big gloves, and but I just really don't care for them because the dexterity is just not good, and I'm so used to using the nitrils where I can really feel everything I'm doing. It kind of drives me crazy. But I bought some of the. I talked to the fella at Apis Tactical. Do you remember his name, Brian? I can't
I
remember his name.
I don't, and
Anyway,
I
anyway,
meant to go get a set of those darn things too, and
I talked to him and he said, well, if you want dexterity, you need to get the shorter ones, the ones that kind of just have Velcro around the wrist, and they're short and they're almost like work gloves. And I got a pair of those. I got the black ones. They look really sharp, and man, they just absolutely they work so much better because they come down, they strap around the wrist, they're tied around the wrist. The dexterity is not like nitrils. I don't know if you're going to get a beekeeping glove that is, but it's so much better than the longer ones. I think they're made out of a different material. And I don't know if I got a single sting. I may have gotten one sting on the finger all day, and those bees were so mad. I had my
oh,
finger bent kind of tight, and I think one might have got me, just touched my wrist. It wasn't a serious sting. It was like I could feel a little bit of a twinge, but
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was so impressed with those. And so I just, I'm not trying to sell the gloves. I don't have any skin in the game at this point in time, but I really do like it. I like the ones that go above the wrist, and I was very impressed. And so we'll see how they hold up throughout the season. I'm going to wear them more than I've probably ever worn beekeeping gloves in the past because I just can't stand them because of dexterity issues. But now I did have a couple of queens I saw that I wanted to mark, and that made it a little difficult because the dexterity is not perfect, but it is much better than pretty much any other beekeeping glove I've ever worn that was designed specifically for beekeeping. Just a little shout out to them and a little shameless plug. Even though there's no skin in the game for me, I just I got them at the expo and I thought I'd try them, and I'm happy with them. Um,
Yeah.
I do love my Foxhound. I love my
You
Sting
know,
Stopper jacket as well.
so I have so much stuff over in my honey building because I've got 2 jackets, and it's always just me. So, you always gotta have extra. I found because I had 1 jacket break one time, and then I ended up in a pickle. I had to do some work, and the zipper busted, and, I mean, I just got lit up. They were ticked off. They were getting up in my veil. It was bad. So I keep extras. I've got a set of my gloves over there, the cowhide that I have. I've got a set of they're guardians. Um,
Mhm.
I've got a set of apis. Now, when I was going over and putting in the little pieces of pollen patties in my colonies, wouldn't you darn know it, it had to have been a mouse chewed up one of the fingers. And I
Uh-oh.
felt like and it's a pretty good, it's like pretty much the entire side of one of the fingers. I felt a bee and it didn't sting me, but it was walking on my finger and I felt it and I held my hand out and I just looked and I'm like, well, I'll be darned, that's not going to work.
Mhm.
So there goes, and that's last year I lost a set of gloves to a mouse getting in there and just made a mess with gloves. And now same darn thing. And I had them in my bag. So, you can only do so much. I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to start locking those things up, I guess. But yeah, I had a set of Apis that I would wear periodically, but not anymore.
All right, Brian, I want to share some pictures of off my photo library. Is there a way I can just put them on the StreamYard here? Do I need to just add them in one at a time under the share
Just
feature?
do you have two monitors?
I do.
Just drag them over to the other monitor and just do like a share screen. Or you could even just do share file, video
Share
or
image file. Okay.
video or yeah, image file, whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. When you
Oh,
do share
so
image file, it'll ask you like location and all that, and then it should
okay.
pull it up.
Can I just drag it over? It's where to drag it over.
You could, yeah. Yep.
All right, I dragged it over, but I don't know where it went.
Did you click on you have to click on share at the bottom?
Okay, I'm on that. It says image file, video file. I should have figured this out before I got on here. I am not the tech guy.
Do
Let's do
you
it this way. Let's just share the screen.
Well, I was gonna say you could send them to me in Messenger and I'll just pull up Messenger if you want to do it that way.
Yeah, maybe I will. Okay. Keep talking. I'll send you some of these.
Okay. Let me pull up let me
Because I
find
want to just show folks who haven't seen the video what my bees are looking like right now, the last
yeah.
few days, because it's kind of fun.
Let us see here. I gotta find you. Send it to the Castle Hives, not
I am.
others.
I haven't sent them yet.
Okay. All right. But yeah, that's all up here. You're gonna have more fun than what I will. So, did have a bee club meeting this past Sunday, and that went really well. The club, I mean, they're liking me in my VP role that I got in. Um, it just uh, they enjoy it. So I get up there and I run my jaw, and you know they kind of had a little bit of an issue before, just getting people that would want to from the club that would want to go up and speak, and I have no problem.
You
So
can have problems talking.
no, I never have problem talking. So, but now after this, there I've got monthly meetings that are set up, like speakers are set up clear up until September. So everything is covered. The August meeting we typically leave open just because that's when we're prepping for um, the big huge fair that is in September. So that one is open, and then I'm going to speak in September. So I've got all the meetings clear through September, all lined up with speakers already, signed up, everything like that. So let's see here. Share my screen. Pow! Look at that right there.
Can you make it bigger, or is that just the size it is?
Let's see here.
Anyway, that's just one of them. So I wanted to.
Why is it doing? I mean, I guess I could download the image and Here, let me do this. I'll stop it. I'll just download them and
That's cool. I'm thinking about doing something, Brian, that we don't. Maybe we've done it once or twice in the past of the show. We talked briefly about it beforehand, possibly doing this. But I want folks to understand if we do this, we'll probably just it'll be like just a short term thing. It won't be like for the whole rest of the time. But we'd like to kind of have the opportunity to introduce some of you guys to each other. So, Brian, what do you think? We think we should drop a link and see if we can get a couple folks in here.
I mean, sure. I'm all for it. I'm downloading. I'll have these images saved in a matter of.
That's fine.
I see some boxes there even. Yep. And that's looking fantastic there, buddy.
So I think we're going to drop the link for this video, guys, and we may just keep you on for just a couple minutes, maybe one or two of you at a time. So we'll have a chance for. I don't want it to be just kind of a sit around with 10 people on the screen kind of a thing, but just to kind of introduce you to some folks one at a time, maybe. So if anyone has a channel or just wants to kind of introduce yourself to the chat, in here, feel free to hop on the link and we'll see if we can work in. I'm not sure we can get to everybody. I want to under promise and over deliver here. So if we don't get to you, don't get too upset, but we'll try. And for about the next 30 minutes or so, Brian, why don't we just invite some guests in and just kind of see what happens?
Yeah. What's this picture here?
This is just a colony that obviously is a very strong colony.
Wow.
And I'm seeing a lot of that. That is one of the stronger ones I have, but if you continue to flip through them, you'll see that there are a lot of them that are quite strong. So you got another one pulled up?
Well, I want to look at this right here. What's this?
Oh, those are the boxes Greg's bringing me.
Man.
Endura Hive copper dipped, Propola boxes. And
those look
I've just decided that, I've been doing it kind of the inexpensive way, and I totally get it when people do that because I've done it for years. Last 2 or 3 years, though, I've started just kind of trying to upgrade my equipment a little bit and buy maybe some of the nicer stuff. And I feel like these boxes will last probably as long as I keep bees, and so I won't have to buy new boxes every 4 or 5 years. Probably won't have too many extra entrances on the boxes like I do now on some of the ones that are rotting. And so my goal is to kind of get, especially my deeps initially, replaced over the next 2 or 3 years with nothing but Endura Hive boxes. And so last year I got the standard ones. These are the copper dipped ones. And so
those look good.
They're going to be beautiful. You'll be seeing them pretty soon in a video, hopefully. Once again, another typical thing I'm seeing down here, you can tell on this one, I had a shim on the left hand, on the bottom, on the actual hive there, turned up one. That's the lid that's turned upside down over there. You can see all the bees on that lid. But I had Hive Alive in there. I had that little shim on there. That lid does not have a rim on it. And so on the ones that don't have a rim, I just take old bee boxes and cut them. Honestly, like 1.5 inches, 2 inches thick. It doesn't have to be just a specific size.
Right.
And then I put the Hive Alive fondant in there and it works really well. But you can tell those bees are looking pretty good. I'm guessing we can probably get at least one split out of that colony. What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
What else do we have, Brian?
If you're leaving it up to Burns, you're going to pull about 3 or 4 splits off of that joker.
Yeah. Well, I need 64 total. So we're going to get 64 total and then we're going to be done. We may do some full box splits, like just kind of put a queen excluder in the middle, drop that queen down below. It's another one, just kind of a typical standard box. We're seeing that obviously is a deep and a medium. The top box is a medium there. And, but you can see it's just packed out with bees. So
unreal. And Justin just bounced out. Justin, pop back in there, buddy.
Yeah, we're going to get to you in a minute. All right. What else we got?
That's crazy. Which other one did we? Oh yeah. It's just a smidge amount of brood.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of this. A lot of the colonies, frankly, didn't have sheets of brood like that. A lot of them kind of were, they had some cluck cat brood larvae. A lot of the frames were kind of a mix, but some of like the one that I think possibly might have swarmed actually had like sheets of brood, like probably 6 or 7 sheets of nothing but brood there. So that was pretty impressive. But I think we're going to be able to find enough frames of bees to be able to do 64 splits out of my 100. I've got about 110 colonies now, 115, something like that. I don't know exactly. And so we should be able to get the splits we need. My goal is to do, got about 20 nukes that I'm going to kind of break out that are going to be sold or utilized to further people. And then the rest of them are going to probably stay in my operation, at least initially. And so the ones that stay in my operation might be full box splits more than anything else. We'll see how it looks when we actually get into them. But the ones that are breaking out for nukes, obviously, are just going to be in 5-frame nuke boxes, probably 3 to 4 frames, 3 frames of brood, maybe 4 frames of, or 2 to 3 frames of brood, frame of food, and then in the pro nukes, I'm going to put a feeder in there too, and in the my standard wooden ones, I really can't fit I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those. I might use buckets on top of those, but we'll see what happens. So, all right, guys, let's start off. We got a couple folks in the chat here. Let's just get to know some people here a little bit. Hey, Justin, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing great, man. And then we have Glade in here from Utah. So, Justin, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you at? I've seen you in the chats many times. I'm not sure. Have you been to the expo? Have I seen you or met you before? I can't remember.
No, I've never been to the expo. I've never met you in person. I'm in California,
Okay.
north of San Francisco. I'm a third-year beekeeper. I have 16 hives right now.
Nice.
Lost a few over winter. I had some lane workers that I found, and some raid outs and stuff. Now, Bruce, when you find your boxes are all packed to bees, I mean, you're not tempted to add another super on top right now to give them space?
It would be tempting if I wasn't going to split them right away. I might do that, but since we're going to split them, I kind of want to keep them. It's a risk, but I just don't want to get them really tall right now. I want to keep them. It's just, I really don't want to stack honey supers on them until more of a nectar flow comes in. But yeah, if I wasn't going to be splitting them in the next week or two, I might be putting an extra box on them or doing something, because what they really need to do is be split. If we had a nectar flow starting like right away, I would probably start stacking supers on them, but we're probably a good month and a half away from really much of a nectar flow. What happens here in Alabama is they have there's a little trickle that comes in. The red maples and stuff start blooming like in January or whatever's blooming. I'm not sure what it even is, but they really start to explode. We usually get a warm snap about now, which we have, and the bees just kind of take off really beginning of January. But then the actual true nectar flow coming in that is enough to actually put honey in the hives is usually not until early April, late March, early April. We start to see a little bit, and then in April the privet hits, and that's when we get our first flow usually. But yeah, it's not a bad idea. If I wasn't going to split them, I might be putting some stuff on them. I have actually added an extra deep. If I had dead outs, I would just throw it on top of some of the stronger ones. I'm not sure if I showed that on my video. I don't think I did, but I had some that were like some of the ones we just looked at, and I had some boxes kind of sitting around, and I actually took a few boxes with me. And so some of them are actually in triple deeps right now, where I've stacked another box of comb on there. And I'm hoping they actually move up enough into that we could maybe even pull 2 splits off, but we'll see. We'll see how it looks. But that does relieve some of that pressure, Justin. I just didn't have enough boxes with me to do on all of them. But yeah, it is a great idea to do that. And if the ones we don't split, I probably will. If we don't split them, I'll probably just throw boxes on here there to give them a little more space.
Yeah, you're a lot hotter than we are here. We're in the upper 60s now, and things are starting to bloom right now. But I'm going to make splits in 3 weeks or so. As many as I can.
So what part of California? You're in California. I know it's way different in north and south and central. It's different in each area. What part are you in?
I'm in Marin County, which is like 30 miles north of San Francisco, and I'm a member of the Marin County Bee Association and the Sonoma County Bee Association.
Awesome.
And it's funny, like at the Marin meetings, it's like you guys, they do everything. They feed, they treat, they do a lot of Randy Oliver methods. You go to Sonoma Club, and they don't even want to talk about treating. It's natural only, natural, no plastic, nothing.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I guess yeah. We got Jose in the comments section, California beekeeper. How close are you to him? Do you know Jose? He's up in Northern California.
I think he's in the Central Valley, so that's probably a couple hours away.
He's up actually He's up in North California. I think he's up in Northern California. Jose, if you're in the chat, kind of what area are you in? Maybe you could let Justin know. I know he's had some bees. I don't know if he's in the Williams area. If you know where Williams is, I actually had some bees go out there for pollen pollination up in Northern California, and I think that's where Jose's actually up.
Williams is an hour drive from here.
Yeah, so he might be not far at all from you if he's up in that area. I'm not sure what all he does, but
I know he's somewhere up there. Like it's been a couple years since I was out working out there and went up to visit him. I forget the exact area.
He says he's in Red Bluff. You know where Red Bluff is?
Oh yeah,
that's where he's at. Cool.
So that's a 4-hour drive.
Yeah. All right, folks. So as you can see, we're letting some folks come on tonight for a little while, and if you want to hop in, Brian's dropped the link for you. We're going to try and do that for about another 20-25 minutes here. Glade's in here from Utah. How you doing, Glade? Utah Bee Man.
Hello. I'm doing well.
You guys have had kind of a mild winter, but it's kind of cold right now, isn't it?
We have had no snow until now.
Yeah.
None, zero.
Yeah.
Driest winter for Utah ever up until this point.
That's not what you needed. It's not what you need out there at all.
Nope.
Yeah.
We are finally getting some storm coming through today and Friday, and then I think we've got some more coming in next week. So hopefully we can recoup a little bit of water here, because if not, it's going to be
rough.
It's going to be rough.
Yeah.
Don't light a match in Utah.
So Justin, in California, are you kind of in a desert area, or is it quite a bit of forage for the bees out there where you're at?
You know, inside the cities here, it's like perfect. It's honey flow, spring all the way through summer and fall. It's ideal. There's blooming trees all around. But if you go out in the country, it's a whole nother deal out there. And the willows are blooming right now. Then you get a lot of wildflowers. Then you get blackberries. And then the dearth hits, and then the raiding gets crazy. You know, so you got to learn how to prevent the raiding. And you know, anything that's small or weak, you got to get out of there. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Glade, as far as Utah goes, how much more time do you typically have with your winter or cold weather out there before you can really start getting in them? You've been in your bees fairly recently, or peeked in on them a little bit, haven't you? I saw on your channel. Am I right about that?
I peeked in a few weeks ago. Basically just crack the lid, see if there's enough feed in there, and close them.
Yeah.
And normally I wouldn't even be doing much of that, but it's been so warm here, which is unusual, that the bees have been flying most days.
Yeah.
And they're burning fuel and nothing. Obviously there's nothing out there for them. So it's going to be feed bees for the next little while. Normally I'm probably another month before I'm even starting to crack lids, but this year I got to keep an eye on them now, or they're going to starve out. So
yeah. For those of you who don't know, I've got a lot of special ties to Utah. My wife is from Utah. I went to school at Brigham Young University in Utah, so special place in my heart for Utah. And Glade is actually up on what do they call it where you're at, Glade?
It's called the Uinta Basin.
Uinta Basin.
In northeastern Utah. I'm about 60 miles west of the Colorado border and about 60 miles south of the Wyoming border.
Yeah. In other words, he's up on that very bitter cold, the plains up there. It's very kind of barren a little bit, isn't it? It's almost like watching an old Western movie up there.
It's pretty dry up here. They call it the Uinta Basin, and it's kind of a bowl. If you kind of look at a topo map, we kind of sit in the bowl and down in the bottom of it, and the cold air has a tendency to come in here and just sink to the bottom of the bowl and just sit there all winter long.
Yeah.
Where the Wasatch Front, Salt Lake, and up and down that area, they get storms that push the air around out there, and those storms sometimes just go right over the top of us and don't do anything, which is kind of the way it is now. Utah or Salt Lake got, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches of snow downtown, and we got nothing.
Yeah, I saw some videos of some snow in the Salt Lake Valley. But cool. Brian, you got any questions or anything? I interrupted Brian. Right, Brian's in the middle of typing something, or he's.
Hey,
Brian,
I got a
Brian's-
question. I'm having trouble liquefying my crystallized honey, and I have some that it's been at 105 degrees for like a week and a half, and it's still like half and half.
Really?
Is that normal?
Is
for
when
me.
you're go ahead, Glade.
I have to bump, if I want to decrystallize mine, I have to bump it to about 115 for 12 hours or something. My warmer, I have a freezer that I made into a honey warmer, and I usually have to bump it to about 115, even 120, just for 12 hours or something, just to get it that last little bit. I mean, 110 will get it liquefied, but not really get all the crystals out of it. And I think that has to do with my honey is really dry, so we never have a moisture problem in the honey ever. Bruce's honey, it runs like water, and mine's more like molasses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine is, it depends on the spring or this. Now mine, I actually, I'll put mine up. It gets a little bit, but once it's completely liquefied, you can stop, but it is okay, I think, to go a little warmer than that. Especially if it's not liquefying, then just increase the temperature until it does. You're not going to hurt it to do that.
Right. You don't want to leave it that way for long
days
periods of time. Yeah, for days on end. Get it up, warm it, get it decrystallized, and then I turn my warmer back down.
Justin, what are you using to melt it down?
So I have a 7-gallon bottling tank.
Okay.
That I recently bought, and I tried that. I didn't. I think I just need to spike it, like he says, get it up hot for a short time. Because I'm going the other way. I started kind of in the 90s, then I went up to 100, and then I went to 105. So I'm gonna try just spiking it, like he says, and then turning it down.
I usually put my Maxent bottling tank at about 110, and then I just leave it until it's decrystallized, and it does a good job. It does take it a while. Now it has the jacket on the bottom and on the sides. It takes it a while to do it though, so that's what I do.
I was just going to say this right here. Have you checked, have you went and gotten like a digital thermometer or something where you could just verify the temps on that thing?
I set it at 100 for a couple days, and then I used I checked the temp at the top of the honey, and it was 80. So, I'm not exactly happy with this bottling tank. The valve on it is kind of a pain in the ass.
Oh, okay.
I hate having to hold the valve open.
Yeah.
I'm used to just using a bucket with a gate valve.
Right.
And that's a lot faster. It's now I need to get the speed fill.
Yeah.
Well, with my Maxent that I have, they call it a dripless valve, although it usually has, like, you could call it a 1-drip valve.
Yeah.
I'll usually it's like honey on tap. So if it's good and liquefied, you just take it, and it takes like 6 seconds to do a bottle up and down really fast, and then I'll just take the jar and like wipe that last little drop off. I did get the speed fill, and I'm getting used to that still, but it is really a good tool. And we've gotten to where we're pretty good at it, and it seems to be working pretty well for us. The only drawback from it is I do like occasionally, if I have an odd size of bottle or jar, I can just, with the old dripless valve on the Max, you just go up whatever you need, you fill it up, and you're done. With this, you got to kind of play with it to figure all that out. But like if you wanted to fill a 5-gallon bucket, if you wanted to just sell somebody or whatever, it's hard to do that with the speed fill. But everything so far we've used it for has just been phenomenal. But now I think if you put the hose, you can put the hose up over the top of the bottling tank and just suck it out that way. And if you do that, then you can still have your valve on the front plus the speed fill. But we just connected it right to the front of the bottling tank. So
you know what I do, Justin? Like when I because I've got a heated bottling tank down in my basement, and I've got the connector on it, so I could connect my speed fill. Like I could just plug the tubing into it and just do that. But I don't want to bottle honey in the basement. So I just go ahead and I'll fill a bucket. When I'm going to bottle, I'll just run it right into a bucket and I walk it upstairs into the kitchen, and it's still, pretty high. Now I would normally keep mine, like I tapered it back. I would have my honey 92, 95, somewhere right in there, like low 90s, and it would stay fine. It wouldn't crystallize up. And it would go quick, but that's just how I would do mine. I mean, I've got the connectors. Like I said, I don't have like a big, there's no space really where I could put my darn tank. I was thinking about putting it over, like in my honey building over where all my hives and that are, but that's not at my place. And then if I would need to bottle anything real quick, then I'm driving 20 minutes and that'd be no bueno. So
yeah. Did that help? Maybe you could try some of that, Justin. Maybe that'd help you. But just don't worry about increasing the temperature a little bit. People get kind of. I just do it. 110 is my desired temperature, and it seems to work. It may take it a day or two. To me, if it takes it a day or two to do that, then it's probably not getting too hot or decrystallizing it too fast.
Yeah.
A couple of quick, just a couple of starred things here. Number one, appreciate the super chat from Warwick Farm. Appreciate that. Thanks a lot. That means a lot, and it really helps with everything, the channel and all. Jose, California beekeeper, asked a couple of questions here. He says, "What's up, fellas? Mother Nature is pounding us, and bee work is on hold. Miss staying on your guys' streams." By the way, Jose is incredibly busy. He's just a commercial guy out there in California, makes a lot of queens and does all the things. And so, anyway, I appreciate you checking in tonight, Jose. He says, "No more Cali for you, Bruce." No, I haven't done the pollination in 3 years. We got screwed over by our broker that last year, and it was a lot of work for not a whole lot of return when it came to just sending a few colonies out, which is what I was doing. And it just was too much. I'd rather keep them here for now and just keep focused on getting the bees healthy and strong and keep making honey. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. And maybe in the future, if I get enough for a truck, I'll do it. But for now, we're good. Just leaving them here. Also, Jose says, "What's Utah's main nectar source for the spring and summer?" I guess that's a question for you, Glade.
Answered that in the chat, but mostly alfalfa, clover, wildflower.
Do you get linden up there, Glade, where you're at?
Somebody's got to plant a linden tree in order to get any. And so there's a few around, but there's not enough.
It's not a main crop. I know down in the other parts, like over in the Wasatch Front, they're everywhere. And that, to me, that's a really good honey. I love that stuff. It's the same as basswood, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It's kind of it almost has like a cinnamon type flavor to it. I love it. It's really a good honey. I love that stuff.
Probably.
But I also love the clover and alfalfa combination. That's one of my favorites as well.
Probably the other thing is Russian olive.
Okay. I'm not sure how close that is to what Jose has, but I know he's got a lot of great things out in California as well. We have a new guest that's hopped on here, Lisa Grammy. How you doing, Lisa?
Well, hey,
that's
neighbor.
Not Lisa anymore.
Lisa is about.
I'm not.
You're G2.
G2.
Oh, I'm G2. No, I'm only one of the G's.
Well, but you're representing G2.
I'm representing G2. Yes.
Lisa is a very good friend of mine, very close friend of mine. She is about 20 minutes north of me here in Ozark, Alabama. And Lisa does everything. She does the bees, she does the honey, she does the lip balm, she does the salsas, the hot honeys, the infused honeys, just keep listing them off. And anything you can think of just about, she's doing it. And
Lisa can do it.
She has
And my
recently,
house looks like a bee supply place has exploded in it.
well, she has actually bitten off a new bite to chew. Or what are you doing now, Lisa? What's your
Yeah.
biggest, newest adventure?
Well, my mentee, Jimbo, and I decided that we needed a bee supply place closer by than Marietta or Montgomery or Birmingham or Moultrie. So we are opening a small bee supplies shop. We have electricity now. We have heating and air conditioning now. So we're looking at our soft opening March the 10th, the night of our first meeting, and then a grand opening on the 14th. So we're looking forward to it. We're already getting
Yeah.
customers and orders in, and we hadn't even opened yet. So it's kind of
Yeah,
neat.
people keep asking me when I'm going to retire and do bees full time. Lisa's about ready there. She's got so much
Not
going on.
yet.
She needs to do
Not
it.
yet. I got to replace my income first, or at least part of it, so I can go part time. But
Yeah, so Lisa's awesome. Just a really good friend. Lisa she has braved helping me out the last few years with my honey harvest. She has been abused by my bees more than once, and she still keeps
that
coming
flower
back. So
hive.
she still keeps coming back. So she is a really
Did you
good
see
friend.
my message, my comment down below?
I
We're
did not.
building we're building a checkout counter, and I want to use old deep boxes.
Oh,
So
yeah.
when you start going through some of your old deep boxes that are not rotten, think of me.
Would you like to have the flower hive as part of your counter?
I want that flower hive.
Lisa, I'm going
Oh,
to do your first interview for G2. I'm going to find you like a shop manager. So,
Oh, okay.
Bruce, what's your beekeeping experience?
It's funny. My daughter says, "Mom, Alex is my oldest grandson, and he's graduating high school this year." And she said, Alex needs another part-time job. He's kind of been jumping from part-time to part-time, and he's fixing to graduate high school. I was like, honey, I said, he needs to know a little bit about beekeeping to be working by himself in a beekeeping shop.
Yeah.
So we've got a few
Yeah.
people that's going to be helping us out. Another one of our friends up in Troy, Mona Daughtry, she's going to come down and help us some. And let's see, Didra, of course, she's working part-time, so she's going to do some of it. And Jimbo works odd work week out at Fort Rucker, so he'll be doing Tuesdays. So we've kind of got it worked out a little bit.
Nice.
We'll just see. I was going to comment on Justin. I think I commented before, and I think Brian put something up kind of off the subject. I found the neatest wrap. I had bought a wrap because I'm still working with 5-gallon buckets, and my honey has all crystallized. We had like 18 5-gallon buckets of honey this past year. So I've got about 4 or 5 now that left, and it's all crystallized. But I
we
found this wrap that I was using, but it wouldn't get the bottom part of the bucket. Well, I found another wrap on Amazon that actually has a bottom. So it
okay.
Velcros to the rest of the wrap, and it's on
Oh,
Amazon. I think it was like $80. And I turned the thermostat on like 110, and the whole bucket is liquefied within a day, maybe less. So
Okay.
wow.
Nice.
yeah.
That's cool.
So just a little plug for that. I think it was like $80. So it was worth it to me. So
Yeah, I use the Better Bee, the wrap, and there's usually about an inch in the bottom that doesn't completely get crystallized. But I
yeah.
just pour it in my bottling tank that's got a water jacket around it, and that just always finishes it off. And so
Well,
I just try to get it soft enough to pour in the bottling tank and let it do most of the work.
I have a water jacketed bottling tank, but it's still sitting on my front porch because the flooring isn't down in the honey house yet. So we've been doing the shop and the honey house.
Yeah, you got a lot
And
going on.
so
Lisa. You
I got a lot
Lisa.
going on.
You sure do. You might
Well,
say.
guys, I
Hey
just
guys,
wanted to stop by and say hi. Y'all have a good night.
You too.
And keep us in your prayers, okay?
All right. Have fun,
All
Lisa.
right.
It's good
Thanks.
seeing you.
We'll point people your direction.
I'm gonna bow out for now too. Just wanted to get on and say hello.
Thanks, Clay, for hopping on. That's awesome.
Glade, I'll see you, buddy.
Let somebody else jump in so we can get to know each other. I think we need to have some sort of document that says who everybody is and where they're from, because I get everybody's name mixed up in the chat, and I'm like, am I talking to this person or that person?
Yeah.
So if I mess up your name, sorry.
That's
That's fine.
because YouTube went and messed up the naming for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks
have
for
a good
hopping on,
evening.
Glade.
Glade, you take care, buddy.
Justin, any other questions or anything for us or any comments?
Well, in 3 weeks, I'm going to Randy Oliver's and buying queen cells from his son. And that's what I'm going to make splits with. So I did the same thing last year. And, let's hope it goes well. But my bees are nowhere near like what yours are now.
Well,
Yeah.
so just to kind of clarify a little bit about my bees. Now, the bees I buy specifically in Alabama here, we have our winters are pretty mild, and I have had carniolans and varieties like that don't build up quite as strong in the wintertime. But I specifically purchased the bees that I have now, the Italian Cordovans that I get to build up and stay strong because I like them to come into spring so I can make early splits and then to just go into honey season just at max potential. And so you look at my colonies, some people might think, oh my gosh, my bees aren't looking like that. Well, some varieties aren't designed to look like that. And so don't feel like your bees are doing bad if they don't, they hit a good nectar flow, they'll build up and be just as good or strong or as effective as these are. But I do really like these bees that I'm getting out of Hawaii. I've been real impressed with them. And I've kind of found that they have the good, perfect combination for my area here. I've bought a lot of good queens from a lot of people over the years, but these are kind of the ones that, and the other advantage to me for getting these is I can get them early. And the disadvantage to these queens is everyone can't get them, and you have to have a minimum order of like 28 to get them. And so it's really, it's kind of, I show people what I'm doing, and I'm almost scared to tell people because Zach kind of sells out. And so this time of the year, he's got a big demand. Now, later in the year, like in the summertime, like July, August, September, you might be able to get some from him and get on his schedule. But this time of the year, it's real tough for him to, he's maxed out and he sells all of his queens pretty quickly. But so you said you're getting your queens from where, Justin? From Randy Oliver? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you get the
I mean,
golden?
I'm surrounded by queen breeders here. I mean,
Yeah,
what's Alvarez? He's like an hour drive from me, so I can kind of pick what I want. I'm going to try the Randy Oliver's Golden West this year.
Golden West, yeah, absolutely. I would like to get a hold of some of those myself. I've kind of thought I would order some in the future, but we'll see. I'm not going to get any right now. They're probably sold out right now. I don't know if they are or not, but I gotta get through Friday and get them all split and get the queens in there and see what I have then and see how they do, and then I'll worry about future stuff.
So you have no trouble getting the queens accepted? You use a candy cage, or is that what you do?
I just the cages they come in, I put them in there. What I do if I introduce them the same day is I put a piece of painter's tape around the end and I poke a pinprick hole in it right over the candy, and then I just stick them in there. I introduce them in the cage and they eat through the candy. And by the time they release them, and I've had tremendous success. Probably 90% at least success, especially in this spring or winter time. Like when I'm doing them now, when the bees are really kind of growing and really healthy. In the summer, it's a little more difficult because the conditions are so difficult that it may not be quite that good. But this time of the year, the acceptance rate is usually phenomenal. So we'll see how they do.
Yeah, maybe someday I'll just buy the mated queens. It costs a lot more money that way.
Yeah, that's what I do. They're all mated. It is expensive, but you've got to, I mean, she hits the hive just laying eggs. She immediately hits the ground running. And I have done splits with cells, but one of the things I'm trying to do, one reason I buy the mated queens is because I'm trying to get my stock more desirable for what I want with the gentleness and the productivity. And the only way to really quickly change what your bees are doing and to get the desirable traits that you want is to use mated queens, because if you use cells or you create your own queens, it's more of a process to get what you want. And once I get to where I want to be, and when I have more time, I may try to make more of my own queens. But this has worked out well for me. Yeah, I figure if I find a formula that works, why not stick with it, right? So that's it's worked well for me the last couple of years. And hopefully this year will be more of the same. We'll see.
Nice.
Justin, we
All right.
appreciate you coming on tonight, man. It was good to meet you. And we've seen you in the comments before, and thanks so much. We hope you continue to join us.
All right, y'all, I'll be on. Thanks, guys.
All right. Yes, sir.
Justin, you take care, buddy.
All right. If there's anybody else who wants to hop on for a couple of minutes, feel free to jump in. We'll probably go another 15, 20 minutes, and then we'll probably move into closing it out here in the next half hour or so. I did have let's see.
I put the link out there for anyone other than this guy called Tom Softman or something like that. So
here's a good question from Carmine.
Yeah, Carmine.
Carmine up in, I can't remember where she's from. Is she from?
Look
from
at
where?
the look
where
at the yeah. Look at the
where she's from. What's that?
That's the Statue of Liberty.
So from New York, Carmine.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, how well do the queens from Zach survive the trip for you to you? They do great. Zach actually has a method of shipping his queens that I love. He has these two. They almost look like syringes in the bottom. One of them has candy in it. The other one has water in it with a sponge and the bees. And then he puts the bees. He puts the just single queens in the cages, and they're little wooden cages. I think they're called California style cages. I'm not sure, but they're little wooden cages. The candy in the end, and then he puts tape around the cages so the bees can't get to the candy. And then he puts them in there in the box a certain way, and then he just dumps a bunch of what do you call them? Attendants in there with them, a good handful size, if not more, of attendants in the box with them. And then the bees just they are happy when they come. They're happy. They're just doing their thing. Those attendants are just feeding those queens and. Man, they come in great shape. Usually they haven't eaten anywhere near all the food that's in there for them or drink all the water. So I've actually usually keep them in the box a day or two more than the day they arrive. And I pull the box apart and they're just happy as they can be. They do phenomenal. I love the way he ships his queens. And so he usually ships them. It takes 2 days to get here from Hawaii. And they have come. Another thing that he does is he ships them to the UPS store. He doesn't want them to get outside, sit outside on a porch in the cold or the heat. And so I've got a UPS store not far from here, and he always ships them there so they're inside and so they're not sitting out on the front porch either cooking or freezing, and it takes a lot of the risk out of it when you do it that way. So there's a couple things he does that are a little bit unique. And I've started actually when I have queens shipped to me now, I'm probably going to start, if from any other source, I'll probably just have them continue to ship to that UPS store because that works extremely well. So yeah, Carmine, thanks for the question, Carmine.
Oh, here we go. I'm trying to multitask.
You're usually really good at that.
I'm slipping.
Appreciate the super chat, Brian.
Oh yeah. Open it up.
We opened it up. We had a couple of good. We had Lisa, Justin, and Glade on here. Anybody else want to hop on for a couple of minutes? That's fine. If not, that's fine too.
Mm-hmm.
Justin
Palmer's in here, and I got to call him out because I think he's just AI though.
Thanks, Justin. Is he real?
He's dodging the lives, the videos. That could be AI, the way AI is anymore. So I don't think he's a real person.
Grammy's paying me for the flower hive. I'm still I'm gonna have to think about that, Grammy, because that box has some sentimental value since those bees up in Ozark that time were the meanest bees I think I had, and they lit you up, rang you out of my yard. It's pretty funny. The bees, I don't know if they were embarrassed because they were in the flower hive or if they just, I don't know what happened, but that was crazy. Todd, how you doing, man? Got Todd from Loma Vista in here. It's good to meet you. It was good to meet you at the expo. It was awesome.
Finally.
Have you lost any more bets?
No, I have not. You probably have that picture pulled up by now, right?
No, I didn't. I'm sleeping tonight.
I thought that's what you were doing on the side. So
no, I've been texting. I've been doing stuff over here. I got like 3 things going on at once.
Hey, Brian, we got a comment on this comment by Lisa about the 110 stingers in her jeans. Now, I gotta give Lisa a hard time here because she came out to, I can't remember why she came, if she was coming to help or if she was coming to, I'm not sure why she came out or if she was getting something from me. I think she was coming to help a little bit, but she showed up in these skinny jeans that were tight on her legs, and she just got, I used to wear jeans. Now I wear some different kind of pants, but the jeans that are loose, they don't get you as bad through them. I've had hundreds of stingers in mine before and not really felt it, but they lit her up so bad. Her pants were full of stingers. They literally ran her out of the yard that day. I felt bad for her. She survived though. She did okay, so that was okay. But at least it's pretty tough.
So what I got out of that conversation is Bruce probably tortured his colonies, and he wore skinny jeans a few times.
No,
and then he kind of switched over, and they left him alone a little bit.
Oh, she says that's not the time she got the 110 stingers. Oh, well, they ran her out that time though. Maybe they didn't get her as many times, but they definitely got her.
When Lisa came over, it threw them into flashbacks. So they were like, "Oh no, we're not doing skinny jeans anymore." So you need to do like I do sometimes in the summer and just wear shorts.
Hey Brian, Eddie says he'd like to hop in for a couple of minutes. He says he can't find the link. So
yeah, it wasn't pinned. I had to go through the comments, find it.
I'll throw it in there one more time, Brian. We're not going to go much longer. We're going to go for a few more minutes. Todd, tell us what's going on out there in California, man. Tell us, first of all, remind me where you are in California. I think you told me at the expo, but where are you located out there?
I'm in Central California. I'm right next door to Fresno. So I'm kind of right in the middle of the almonds in this area of the state. Geographically, it's almost the exact center of the state. Yeah. Okay, Tom, whatever. That can't be Melissa. I know that had to be Tom. So that's where I'm at. And, we have hot summers, hot, dry summers. They get up to 110. A couple years ago, got up to I think it was 114, 115 for a couple of days in a row. And I had a couple week hives, and the honey was dripping out of the boxes onto the ground. So it gets hot and it gets cold. Right now it's rainy. I don't think it got. Well, I won't tell you what it got out of. Bruce would think it's cold, but everybody else probably wouldn't, and Eddie probably wouldn't. But I don't think it got out of the 40s today. And it's supposed to get even colder tonight and rain tonight and all day tomorrow. So not a lot of bee work. I was actually in the garage finishing up waxing some foundations, and I fired up the barbecue, so I can't stay on too long. So that's
okay. Good. Well, cool. I know. When I did pollination, the first couple of years they sent them out to Central California, but the last couple of years I did it, they sent them out to Northern California. Yeah. Haven't been out there in about 3 years, but it would be really cool sometime to go out there and see maybe have you or Jose or somebody take me around and show me what it's really like. I've seen videos, and Jose's done a great job. He did a video a few years back where he it was almost like this is what we're doing, and through the whole process of bees coming in, placing the bees, how they mark all the orchards and groves, and how he does all that. So it's pretty cool.
It's crazy.
But, I had a good time when I was out there for work, and I was able to scoot up to Jose's that one day. Man, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Jose and I talk an awful lot, and I have yet to be up there. I have not met him in person. I've talked to him on the phone for the last 4 years. A lot. a lot. And I keep telling him, hey, I'm gonna be up there and get some queens. Free labor. I'll stay overnight, maybe a couple days, and it just doesn't work out for me because my orange flow starts right around the beginning of April, and I just kind of have to monitor what's going on there. And then after that, it's busy time, and
sure.
And you lose bets.
I saw your last video, Bruce, and I thought my bees would be right on par with where yours are, but you're definitely a couple weeks ahead of me.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised. Last year, I was grafting already at this time. I feel like my bees are a couple weeks behind what they were last year.
Well, Eddie, tell us where you're from.
Southeast Louisiana.
Okay, you're not too. Yeah, are you pretty close to Mike Berry?
Yeah. In fact, we got a club meeting tomorrow night. His wife sells honey right down the street from where I live.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
What
I'm
town?
up with Joey and Mike and.
Okay. What town are you? What town are you in? Would you say? What's it called?
I live in Mandeville.
Okay.
The majority of my bees are in Folsom, but I've
Okay.
got yards, Beatico, Madisonville, Covington, Folsom, all around.
Awesome. How many colonies you run about, Eddie?
I'm just under 100 now because I lost.
There you go. Cool.
The queen breeding is what I am most passionate about. I'm in that breeding program with the USDA Bee Lab. In fact, I think I'm going to send you some virgins later, Bruce, when I get to grafting. We talked on Facebook a while back.
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah. I'll give them a try.
I thought we'd already have them by now. But
well, there's no rush right now. I've got a bunch of queens coming, and I'm not really. We've got some drones, but I don't know that we're really ready to do a lot of queen rearing and mating here yet because we got, the weather, how it is, Eddie. It's kind of hit or miss. It gets kind of hot and cold, and for mating purposes, I prefer it to be more like maybe end of March or April, May. Those are the best times here to get bees mated really good. So
yeah, we don't have any drones right now, and my colonies are building up. I just thought people are on me about queens, and I'm like, man, it's still early. It's really early.
Yeah.
Bees are growing, but you can't get anything mated right now. I know a few colonies got cap drones, but I mean,
I think we could. I've got quite a few drones, but not really and plus you may have 2 weeks of rain or 2 weeks of cold where they don't fly, even if there are drones. And so it's just not worth it to me to risk it. And I don't do a lot of queen rearing anyway. Todd, do you do some queen rearing out there in California?
I do. Yeah. I bought a bunch of carnies from Jose several years ago, and they're really good carnies. And so I've been kind of going off of those. But last year I got hit by that virus. I lost just about everything. So I scrounged around for swarms, and I don't know if you've seen my video, but I have 14 triples out there right now because I'm not going to be able to get queens because of the weather until March 4th. And then I have a couple of quads. I'm just praying that when I'm in St. Louis, it doesn't turn to like 70 degrees around here because I'll come back to nothing.
Well, Eddie will tell you down here. Yeah, it's we're at that now. Like I was telling them earlier when people were somebody asked about adding space. I will probably add some space on any that we don't split that are really heavy. I'm hoping we just split most of the ones that are heavy enough. There's pressure enough to swarm. What I'm really hoping is we don't go on the bee yards and see swarms hanging around or find a bunch of swarm cells everywhere because I need to place these mated queens somewhere. So, but they are, you could see from the video, like you were saying, Eddie, they are just absolutely packed out. And it's not all of them, but, of course I show the one little clip in the video towards the end. I went through about 3 minutes of peeking in on 10 or 12 colonies or maybe more. And that some of them weren't very strong. Some were on the verge of dying out. So they're not all strong, but a lot of them are. And so it's really fun to crack open that lid and see bees covering all the frames. And then you flip the lid upside down and there's like 1.5 inches of bees on the bottom of the lid that were just up there. And then you go through the colony. If they're all in the top box, it's different. But when the whole hive looks like that, it's pretty dang cool.
And to answer your original question, Bruce, this year I'm going to be grafting. I'm getting some of those Latshaw queens, actually carnies from HawaiiQueen.com or something like that. Whoever does the Latshaws over there. Yeah. I'm getting some of those with another guy in the club. And then I have some of Corey's stock here via Mark Miller from Tennessee. I have a couple survivors that haven't washed any mites in a year. So I'm going to be grafting off of those. And then I have some Golden West Queens out here too. I got
awesome.
So I've got a lot to play with, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of, no offense, but I'm going to get rid of all the Italians because I'm not doing any pollination, so I can't afford to have a big buildup like this and then just kind of walk around on pin needles. And
I love them to be. I love it though.
I know it's fun. I like it too, but
the early splits is a big advantage for me to be able to do that. That's one reason I like them so much.
Yeah, I like the big build-up.
So Eddie, tell us what type of queens do you have?
So I had some survivor stock, and I got into that breeding program. that Dr. Rankovich is doing at the Bee Lab. And so he's giving us cells every year. And Kent Williams and I kind of get the cells and distribute them. And we're doing grafting from breeders that they give us and giving them out to the clubs locally. And I mean, I got half of my stuff did not get treated last year and still doing well. I'm not treatment free. I've gone to just organic treatments, but I only treat if I need to treat. I do a lot of mite washes. It's
good.
Become a headache with as many colonies as I have now doing. I try to do 3 mite washes on each colony each year. And as long as they're not very high, they don't get anything. But as soon as they get high mite wash, they're out the breeding program, and then I treat them. Last year I tried thymol for the first time, and it seems like it did pretty good.
Yeah, it works well.
And I do OA vaporization, obviously, too.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I'm trying the Apivar 2.0. I know a lot of people are off the Apivar train, but I've had good success with it, and I'm trying the 2.0 to see how it works. So we'll see. It's in them now, so we'll see how it does. I'm not going to utilize that as my only treatment, but I've always had the opinion to keep everything in the toolbox. That's just kind of my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not going to just, you know, I would love to treat with only organics, but some organics are pretty harsh on the bees.
Mm-hmm.
And right now I didn't want to shut them all down when I'm about to do splits. And so Apivar is actually pretty calm on the bees, and it has historically been deadly to mites, but I don't want to use it all the time. I think it's not wise to do that. But I think every once in a while, keeping it in the toolbox and utilizing it is not a problem. Assuming it works, we'll see when I do the testing, but I think it's going to work okay. I haven't had a lot of issues with Apivar like other people have that I know of. So anyway.
Are you using Formic? I know you used it that one year.
I used it in November on everything. And it absolutely, now it did take out some of my colonies, but they were weak anyway, so it was okay. I mean, they probably wouldn't have survived anyway. Yeah. I'm not saying it took them out, but they were either goners or almost gone when I took it out. Maybe they were weak beforehand. Maybe they would have been that same stage anyway. But the ones that survived, well, you see how they're looking. So
yeah.
What it seems like
Formic of the
humidity it is. I think it's more. I've tried it a couple times. Once I did it in the spring, a couple 3 years ago, and the other time the first time I did, I think was in the fall, and I didn't do it on everything. I just did it on some of the colonies, and I really think the temperature, it needs to be a little bit cooler. Like when I did it in November, the highs, the day I put it in was like upper 70s, but then it was the next couple of weeks, it was like between 50s and highs and maybe mid 70s. So it was just perfect for it. And it worked really well, but it did, you know, like I say, it's pretty harsh on them for about 3 or 4 days. It's pretty harsh. And then what it seems like to me, Todd, if you've used it, you may know what I'm talking about. It seems almost like it resets the bees. Like like it does, some of the queens, it doesn't even phase. Like you go in there and there's brood and everything, like nothing even happened. But some of them, most of them, you go in and there's like no brood, like it destroys the brood. But then if you start looking in the cells, when you take it out, there are like eggs and larvae in every cell. And it's like that queen just starts a brand new, it's almost like the whole hive just resets. And it's kind of impressive on the ones that it works on. But it is a risk. And I think any of the organics are kind of risky. They're kind of harsh, like both the Apigard and the Formic. The Formic may be a little more harsh than the thymol. Mm-hmm. But I don't personally, here in Southeast Alabama, I was scared to try it too until I talked to Todd, Tom from the Formic, from Nod, the Formic Pro creators. And when I talked to him, he came down and I interviewed him, and we talked about it. He talked about it for a while, and I'm not really afraid of it anymore because I've had good results with it. And frankly, if I have 10 colonies and I'll lose 2 of them, but the rest of them come back stronger than ever, and the 2 that I was going to lose, I would have lost anyway, or the old queens were old and failing anyway, I think that's a win-win for me. So that's just my opinion. I'm not telling people they should do it, but in my opinion, I'm not nearly as afraid or nervous about it as I used to be.
I was talking to Tom when you walked up at the expo. That's when I met you, and we were all kind of having a discussion about this. I have yet to try it, but Tom talked me into it. I'm going to be trying it after oranges, so mid to late April, and temperatures will be fine right there. And Yeah, I'm going to go for it because I need to try something different in spring.
Yeah.
The same thing what you were describing about the brood nests and stuff happens with Apigard to me.
It does.
And it'll
Mhm.
shut them down, and it's awesome. But I have the only difference that I've heard is I have not lost any queens with Apigard versus I've heard about that with Formic. But like you said, Formic does us a favor by eliminating those weaker queens, and you just move forward. So I'll try it. I'll try it in a month or two.
The scary thing is in November doing it because there's no access to queens. That's why I was really nervous. But I had used Viroxan throughout the I used Viroxan throughout the season, and it just really didn't do a very good job. I'm just gonna be frank. I was not impressed with Viroxan. So I went into the fall with some mite loads I was not pleased with, and so I talked to Greg about it, and he said, "Hey, I told him what the temperature was going to be, and he said that sounds perfect. Why don't you try Formic?" And he had some in stock, and so he sent it to me, and I think people may have thought I was a little bit crazy to do it that time of the year, and I thought I was a little bit crazy to do it, but I felt confident that the good strong colonies were going to be fine. I was worried about some of them that were a little bit weaker, and most of them, even the weak ones, were fine, but there were a few that it just kind of fizzled on out, and it just but that's okay. I don't want wimpy, scrawny little colonies anyway. I just don't want those. I don't want to try and nurse them on through the winter. I just as soon kind of stack that box on a strong one and just let them fill it up, and just I'm about done with the wimpy colonies. I'm tired of those. I think it's best to kind of cull those anyway. So I'm getting a way more what's the word I'm trying to use? Ruthless with those weakened colonies. I'm still not 100% probably how I should be, but now if I got two weak ones, I'll just put one on top of the other and let them figure it out. And if they make it, fine. If not, fine. It's no, because they're both going to probably fizzle out anyway if I don't. And sometimes if you put two, I've noticed if you put two on top of each other, they kind of strengthen each other. I guess the strongest queen wins out or whatever, and sometimes they end up being okay. Lots of times they don't, but there's no love loss. There's no problems with doing that. They're both going to die anyway, so why not give it a try? Or I have just stacked them on strong colonies, and they just incorporate that weak one in, and they just do just fine. So
I've never had luck in the past, and it did the same for me. It's when I had just a horrible mite wash, and I thought, well, I needed something that was going to knock them down, and the weak colonies, they got taken care of. It made the decision for me. So, but like you said, the colonies come out when you use Formic according to the label, your colonies come out of it, and they're good.
Yeah. I felt whenever I combine two weak colonies, I just end up with another weak colony because they get two queens that aren't that good. Now I always try to combine a weak colony with a bigger colony.
Yeah,
it seems like that gives it a little bit of a boost.
Yeah, that works too. It's whenever you got a weak colony, they're going to die anyway. So just play. You can play with them and try and figure it out. There's a question here about when is the mating season, I guess, for you, and when does your mating season start? When is your best time to make queens, Eddie? Is that like late March, April? What do you think?
Yeah, late March, April.
Into May, maybe.
Yeah, when the swarm season starts heavy, it really depends on the year,
That's true, yeah.
But yeah, I say when the privet's going, they're in you're having to put swarm traps out, you start seeing cells. See, I like seeing cells in my colonies because that's telling me that, all right, I can make a cell builder now, and the bees are ready,
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to get better with the culling stuff too, but I think I cull mostly the spicy stuff. I have no tolerance for that. It's too hot down here, and I don't deal well with the heat and humidity in a jacket, so I wear my bee jacket maybe 5 times a year.
Wow.
I'm in bees almost every day. I work my bees in short sleeve shirts, sometimes sometimes shorts. I always have a veil just in case because I'm not close if something bad does happen. But I got no tolerance for the mean stuff.
Yeah,
get an H on the lid.
That's good. Well,
if I come again, it happens. They're getting requeened.
I hear you, man. Well, I'm interested in trying some. Then maybe when the when the drones are at their prime, I really don't want to try and get them mated when there's not enough drones out there to make sure it's going to happen. So, yeah, if you shoot me a few, I'll give them a shot around here and see what happens. But Todd, if folks want to find you, where can they find you at?
Loma Vista Bee Company or Loma Vista Bee Co. On YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all the regular places. Real quickly, I don't know if this steps on your guys' toes. I don't think it does, but every once in a while, every 2 weeks, Brian and I do a show on YouTube for the West Coasters. So if there's any West Coasters out here, we want to invite them to our show. It's called Westward Bees. We send out notices on YouTube. The next one, I have to look on the calendar. I think it's the Thursday. It would be February 26th. That's Thursday after the St. Louis meeting. So
awesome.
And we
next week.
Yeah, next
and
a week from tomorrow.
What time is it again? I know you said it. What time is it again?
Yeah, it's 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So
that's 10 o'clock Eastern. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And that's Brian Zavada from Flower Street, right?
Flower Street. Flower Street Farm Bees.
It's awesome. The Brian that doesn't know how to spell his name correctly.
Well, we appreciate you hopping on tonight. Eddie, tell us if folks want to get in touch with you, is there a way they can do that? Or are you on YouTube or you got some social media?
I'm not on YouTube. I mean, I got a website for the queens. It's northshorebees.org. And I'm on Facebook. I put stuff on there, just my name,
Eddie
North Shore Bees there too.
How do you say your last name? Is it
Bishoner?
Bishoner. Okay. So Eddie Bishoner, BESHONER on Facebook. Or North Shore Bees?
Yeah, northshorebees.org.
.org.
Yeah, no, northshorebees.com is actually in Hawaii.
I was about to say, that sounds like Hawaii to me.
Yeah, I made the company, and my CPA said there wasn't another one. I didn't look, and then by the time I went to go make a website, I'm like, oh no, there's already a northshorebees.com. But they just sell honey in Hawaii, so people aren't going to confuse us. And I don't sell honey online. I'm only going to do the queens online.
All right, man.
I might not have the guest that Brian's talking about, but I'll have somebody on the show next Thursday.
Is that
awesome.
it?
That's the website.
That's pretty cool. That's a cool looking website, man.
Yeah, a friend of mine that's in the bee club with me. I can't do computers. I help her with bees, and she does the website for me.
Yeah, you'd be amazed.
Any credit for it.
You'd be amazed. I do pretty well with YouTube, but beyond that, with computers, like Brian's always helping me. My wife's always helping me do stuff. Like even to do an attachment on an email, I have to have someone help me do that lots of times. So I'm pretty creative with computers as well. But guys, we appreciate you hopping on tonight. It was great to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
So hope y'all have a great bee season and hope to hear more from you. And be in touch with me, Eddie, about those queens if you still want to do it. Just let me know.
I definitely want to send a test out. But you don't want the early ones you're saying now, though, right?
I'd rather go ahead and let the ones I have get established and maybe send me just, if you want to, just a few, like in about a month or so, month to 6 weeks, Okay.
I'll keep
mid-March to somewhere anywhere between mid-March to the end of April. That's probably the best time for us.
Okay.
All right, guys. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for coming on tonight.
Eddie, I'll see you. Todd, I'll see you, buddy.
All right. Good night.
Well, that was kind of fun. We hadn't done that. We've only done it another time or two, so that was pretty cool. We appreciate everyone for hopping on tonight. We're going to go ahead and kind of, I would say go around the horn, but there's only two of us, so I guess we'll start off over there. Brian, tell us what's going on with you coming up in the next few days.
Man, I tell you, I'm going to just monitor that feed. It's with the temps where they're at. Like I said, I didn't want to add any liquid into them, so I've got it out in the yard. I'm hoping that this cold spell that we have will be one of the last, but I know it won't. I know how Northeast Ohio is. I may go over tomorrow because it's going to be like 56 or 57. And look at Tom. And I may hoist a couple colonies just to see the ones that are very light. And I might take some frames that I've got with honey that are in the honey building and just drop some frames of honey down in there as well. So it's like some people will say, oh, you're ripping frames open and that. And it's like, well, they're light. So what do you want to do? Let them starve out or let them recuperate from tearing some frames up? So I may end up doing that if the weather cooperates tomorrow. I probably will go over just to check like that feed that's the open feed tote, and just check weight on a couple of the colonies.
Have you done the open feed tote before? Have you done that before?
I to this extent, no. I've set small things out before, but I haven't done a large tote. Now I had straw here just because of the quail, so I filled the darn thing up partially with that and dumped that stuff in it. And I mean, like I said, I put probably about 15 gallons in the darn thing. There was considerable amount of weight in that darn.
If it's been warm, it'll be, if there's nothing coming, it'll be empty the next time you go out there. Probably they love it. They'll suck it down pretty quick.
Yeah.
The only disadvantage that, in some states, I think is technically illegal open feed. I don't know. I mean, bees are always feeding on their stuff anyway, but but here in Alabama, I don't know of any such laws, but the only disadvantage I see is that if there are other bees around, you're feeding other people's bees too. Or, you'll have like yellow jackets in it. You'll have bees in there. You'll have all kinds of stuff in there, but it really is it's a very easy way. And the one thing I like about it too is that if the bees can't fly to it, they won't go there. So if it's too cold for them to fly, they won't go. And so, they will go out there. As if they're foraging on a regular day, they go to flowers. They'll go out there when they can, and they'll get it and bring it back.
Yeah.
It does seem to help them be satisfied, almost like they're in a flow. So there are all kinds of advantages to it, but there are disadvantages as well. The stronger hives will dominate. Obviously, they'll get more of the feed. So they're probably the ones that possibly might need it the least if they have good honey stores, but they'll get the most, if that makes sense. And so there are disadvantages, but it is such a convenient way to do it. And sometimes if I just don't, I have not figured out a great way to feed that I really love to feed in each colony individually yet. I've used hive feeders. I've used bucket feeders. I've used jars. And they all work. They're all effective and they all have different purposes, but I do not do a great job of feeding my bees that way. I do have a new reel hooked up to my feeding system that makes it a lot easier. So I've got a 100-foot hose I can use, and I'm still trying to get it all. I just got it all put together the other day. And it's leaking a little bit. I still got a few adjustments to make on it, but that'll make it a lot easier for me if I do start feeding individual colonies like that. So we'll see. Greg's coming tomorrow. He's on the road now, so he will help me figure out. He's bringing me some more buckets, and so I think we'll utilize bucket feeders in these splits a little bit. But we can easily fill those up. But that's one thing I like about buckets is you can just fill them up, put them on the truck, take them with you, and then turn them over on the colony. You don't have to take the whole entire tote with you and individually fill each individual hive. And so there's all kinds of advantages and disadvantages. The advantage to the in-hive frame feeders is, I guess they're kind of inside and the bees have really easy access to them, but they will slurp those things down really fast. And so there's just all kinds of, I'm still trying to figure the feeding thing out. I still haven't got it all perfect yet the way I really want it, but one day I'll get it figured out maybe.
I'm going to, of all of the hives that I have over there, the hex hive that is just kind of different. There was actually, it wasn't the hex hive company. There was another guy that's in the hex hive group in Facebook, and he made a queen excluder and shared the files. And then he made a frame feeder and shared the files. So I'm going to print up a queen excluder for that darn thing. And then I got to print up probably 5 of the frame feeders, just because I've got like that queen set up where I'm going to, help raise up cells. And it's 3 separate cavities. So I need 3 for that. And then I'll probably end up putting 2 of the frame feeders in that big setup. So, but that's the only one. Like other than that, I use the buckets for everything, but that hex hive is just, it's different.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting to me that they do so well with it, because in colonies they normally go in a configuration like in one sheet across. They normally don't do like this right here, but they just seem to be doing well. So they're so adaptable. It's so cool. And
I'll tell you what, there's still bees in that darn thing.
Oh, I believe you. They were strong, and I imagine they're gonna be just fine. So anyway, down here, like we've said earlier in the chat, we are going to have a very busy next couple of days. I've got 8 queens from Kona queens that I'm going to do splits and go ahead and take care of those probably tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, Greg's going to be rolling in with a truckload of equipment, trailer load of equipment for myself and some other folks. I'm not sure who all's coming. Lisa, I don't know if Lisa's getting any equipment. I know that Brian Lee is going to be down here. I know Mike Berry's coming over on Friday. And I think, Derek Miller up in Gunnersville is going to come down, and he's going to actually help us. Gunnersville is up north of Huntsville, complete opposites, north side of the state, whereas I'm in the south. But he's going to come down and he's going to help us do the splits. And also, I think he might have ordered some equipment too. And I don't know who else has ordered, but we're going to have us a fun crew. We're going to have a group here tomorrow. I'm not sure who all's going to be here. Maybe do a little dinner, and then Friday we're going to have. I hope we can get. We're going to have a lot of people out there Friday trying to do these splits, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully it'll go well. It'll go well. I'm just, I get really anxious and nervous about it, but it's going to be fine. It's just going to be great to be able to hang out with folks and continue to establish and grow this community and just get to know each other even better. And so we always have a good time whenever we get together, and Greg will be here. It'll be a lot of fun. So I hope to be creating some content from that. I'm sure maybe Greg will as well, possibly. He might have Jake with him. I'm not sure if he is or not. I think he might have Jake with him too. And Jake is the camera guy. He's going to probably be helping out too. So we're going to have quite a group here, but be looking for that coming forward. I'll try and capture some of it if I can, if we're not too crazy busy. If I got like 5 or 6 folks helping me, I can just be the boss, right? And and just be the cameraman and video stuff. No, that's not true. We'll all be working hard, but
you're the foreman.
But anyway, we're gonna it's gonna be a great time, and then I'll probably be doing equipment tomorrow, maybe a few splits. Then most of the splits will be on Friday. Saturday, we got a chance of a little bit of rain too, so that might add to the adventure, which would be miserable if it's raining, but it might be raining some. There's like a 50% chance on Friday, which is the day we want to do most of the splits. So I hope it doesn't rain all day. That would be miserable. I've done it before, but it's miserable enough. And there's a dearth when the bees are kind of feisty, but you add rain to it and they're not really flying much. That's adds a whole different layer. They're crawling instead of flying. That's a lot of fun, but we're going to deal with it. We'll get it taken care of. And people who aren't tough enough, they may not stick around, but I think everyone's going to be tough enough, and we're going to have a good time. So that's the plans for me. Hopefully we'll get some content out of it. It'll be a lot of fun. And we do appreciate everyone coming on here this evening. Appreciate all the super chats, super stickers we received. And so
what are you looking for?
Look and see if we got any more comments. Nothing else we need to really talk about here. So we'll go ahead and close this thing out. Thanks again for being here. Brian, thanks for coming on tonight. Greg once again was on the road tonight, but I'm sure he'll be back with us. It'll be on his channel next week, assuming he's available. And so be looking for that on the Nature's Image Farm channel next Wednesday evening. But until then, we encourage you to be the lighthouse and be the change that you want to see in this world. Y'all take care. We'll catch you later.